Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again, and we got some breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. As the Chicago Bears have added and filled the edge rusher hole that was there, the Bears go out and acquire Darrell Taylor from the Seattle Seahawks for a 2025 sixth round pick. This is a great get for the Chicago Bears to go out there instead of, right, because we knew they were in on the Matthew Judon sweepstakes. So you were trying to get Matthew Judon in the building, but instead of getting Matthew Judon, who is 32 and coming off of some injury issues, you end up coming away with a 27-year-old a 27-year-old edge rusher who has been not injured really at all. He's only missed 2 games in his time in the NFL. Great get by the Bears on this one. I think that this is one of those things where, listen, let Poles cook. Let Poles cook, right? You knew what he wanted. You knew he wanted to go out and find the best option that he could. You knew that this was going to be a position of need. You knew that when you heard Matt Eberflus talking last night as well. So it's good to see that Ryan Poles was able to get something like this done, especially when you're talking about it only being for a 2025 six. Now, if you're wondering, well, Pat, what the heck is Darrell Taylor done in his time in the NFL? Well, he's racked up 21 and a half sacks. He's got 91 combined tackles right now. His best season in 2022 was 9.5 sacks. Every season, though, he has been a 5+ sack guy, 6.5 sacks, 5.5 sacks. And he has just been somebody who, for the Seahawks, has been able to get to the quarterback. That is what you want to see. I think that there's a lot of good by bringing in a player like this. Now, like I said, 27 years old, still fits kind of in that age range that Poles is looking for. Yeah, I mean, it still falls into place. I think that this could be a name that you end up seeing possibly as a starter this year if he does come over. Now, of course, he's got to fit his way in and find his way into the rotation, right? But you feel like this is a guy that can come through and make an impact right away. And I think that that's the best part of this. By the way, over 100 in the chat. No. Now, to me, probably more of a situational pass rusher than anything with Taylor. But again, you're bringing in a guy for not a ton of money. You're bringing in a guy who was a second-round pick, 3 years ago? Yeah, I mean, that's a quality to go out there and get a quality edge rusher. I think that this is an excellent move by Ryan Poles, and I think that this is kind of the moves that we've come to expect from him, right? When you're in the 9th hour and you're like, all right, well, we got some problems over here. Ryan Poles comes through with something like this, something very out of nowhere, right? Darrell Taylor probably wasn't on anyone's radar. Heck, the Bears probably weren't even on Darrell Taylor's radar. So I think the fact that the number 48 overall pick in the 2020 NFL draft. Oh, wait a minute. We got more breaking news happening right now. Hold on now. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the same thing. They said it. How they worded this threw me off. My bad. The 2020 number 48th overall pick is Darrell Taylor. That one threw me off for a second. So basically what everything is, and this is per Tom Pelissero, linebacker Darrell Taylor, if you're just getting in here, in a trade with the Seahawks, goes to the Chicago Bears. They send a 2025 sixth in the trade. Yeah, so that's still the same thing. Okay, all right. We got stuff rolling in. But like I said, this is a good move because you're talking about missing out on a guy who, in Matthew Judon, is a phenomenal player. He just is, right? There's no doubt about it. You know what you're going to get with Matthew Judon. You know the kind of player that he is. You know what kind of energy he brings to a room. But Matthew Judon, 32 years old, coming off of a serious injury. Hopefully he is able to bounce back and is able to go out there and be a dominant player, right? But you've got Taylor coming in, who probably fits this lineup a little bit better, is a little bit younger, fits the game plan a little bit more, has the sack numbers. He's only missed 2 games in his career, like I said, while starting 13 games across a 3-year campaign here. I mean, this to me is a phenomenal get. He's a guy that for sure comes in and is in the rotation. He's a guy that comes in for sure and competes for this starting job, I think, right away. And I think that this is a good get by the Bears being able to go out there and find maybe a little bit of a I don't even know if you can say a gem, right? But a situational guy that can get to the quarterback. I can't sit here and say a gem because you kind of know who this is. You know what I'm saying? But I think that, when you talk about him also coming in on a 1-year contract right now, he's playing on a 1-year deal that he signed with the Seahawks for 3.1 million. So the Bears will have to keep in mind that they will have to re-sign him if they want to keep him on the roster. But to me, this is a good get. You know what I mean? This is one of those moves that, like I said, you've come to expect from Ryan Poles. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. We are over 200 in the chat. 200, 200. Of course, we'll get more into depth on this. Some people saying, so basically, he's a young Yannick Ngakoue. Yeah, I mean, kind of, yes. But Yannick Ngakoue was somebody that we were looking to add to our team, right? And you know what kind of price tag Yannick Ngakoue brings. Again, you've got this young man now for a $3.1 million deal. If you want to sign him long term, you can. If you don't, you gave up a sixth. Right, like you basically gave up a conditional six, and I think that's kind of he's in one of those weird situations where, not to say that you don't see the value in having him on your team, but you do kind of have to weigh that when you look at your salary cap and go, well, is this somebody that I want to sign right now? Yes, he's got that situational pass rush ability, but is he going to be as good in the run? What is that going to cost you, right? What kind of player or how much is that kind of player going to net? Is he going to be in a contract dispute with you, right? So I think there's all those things that you have to look at. But when you look at the edges on this team right now, I mean, you've got two veterans. You've got one veteran that's absolutely dominant, right? Like you've got one veteran who, in Montez Sweat, who you know what you're going to get from him. He's going to go out there. He's going to absolutely eviscerate the competition. And then you've got now a veteran on the other side. Of course, you already had DeMarcus Walker, who you thought you were going to get a little bit more out of this season for sure, with Montez Sweat being on that opposite edge. But you've already got DeMarcus Walker in the building. Now you're adding Darrell Taylor into that as well. Now, I mean, look, you've got two young players as well in Austin Booker, in well, Daniel Hardy, not that young, but I mean, how old is Daniel Hardy? He's still young, 25. Yeah, two young players. I'll stick with that. Yeah, two young players in Austin Booker and Daniel Hardy, who you feel like you can develop and get some more out of this season. And you got guys that can pressure the quarterback. And here's the thing, again, not putting your back up against the wall. What would you have had to do with Matthew Judon? You get Judon, and I'm not saying I wouldn't have wanted Matthew Judon. I want Matthew Judon. I would have paid Matthew Judon, but I don't know how much Matthew Judon was asking for. So you want Matthew Judon in the building, but you do have to pay him. He's going to eat up a serious chunk of your cap. Now you've got this young player in the building who maybe he does, maybe he doesn't re-sign with you, but right now he's eating up 3.1 million. You believe you have more with Austin Booker coming for the future. You've also got Daniel Hardy on the team. If you decide to keep Daniel Hardy on the team, I think that this makes it very difficult for a guy like Dominique Robinson to possibly make the team. He's somebody to keep an eye on. I mean, listen, I think that Dom Rob is in a tough situation, but you're probably, I don't know, man. Like you're probably moving on from him at this point, because the value to me is his size and his athleticism and special teams versus his ability as an edge rusher. So I think that this probably moves Dom Rob off of the team. Maybe he's able to make the practice squad, but again, bringing in a player who in 3 seasons has racked up 21 and a half sacks, who is, again, just a guy with a nose for the football, 91 combined tackles. He's played defensive end. He's played outside linebacker, as far as, being in the 3-4 and different things like that. So this is a benefit. This is a good move by Poles, in my opinion. I think this is something that is going to benefit the Bears long term. By the way, over 300 in the chat. 300, 300. I'm losing my voice a little bit. I don't know what's going on. I'm losing my voice. We were arguing hip hop last night, so maybe that's got something to do with it. I love the amount of people that are like, is this guy good? I've never even heard of him. Like, that's the thing about the NFL, bro. You can literally have just a dude who's on the team. He's like racking up sacks. He's having a great season, but yeah, man, who is this guy? when you look at games started for him, not a starter in most games throughout the season, right? Started 5 games last season, started 3 his sophomore year, started 5 his rookie year. So he's been a guy who has had to come in and start, but again, a guy who just finds production. I don't know if he just walks in the building and you're talking about him being your starting opposite edge, but a guy who you can put out there and he's going to get to the quarterback. That's a good spot for the Chicago Bears to be in right now. I think this is a good move by Ryan Poles. Shout out to the chat, man. Let's get some of y'all comments in here as well. Stefan, what were his stats last year, Pat? Last year, he was a 5.5 sack, 28 combined tackle guy. 5.5 sack, 28 combined tackles. So not a ton of tackles, but the sack numbers are there. Taylor, Booker, Martin, and Walker. Yeah, the edge room looks a lot better, and it's nice to have veterans ahead of the young guys so that you don't have to just rely on the young guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's why Ryan Poles wanted to go out here and find somebody opposite Montez Sweat because yeah, I do like the I do like rolling with the young guys, but you also want to have some insurance because the young guys are still unproven. And this is a move that doesn't change that for you at all, right? If Austin Booker proves to be better than Darrell Taylor, right? Nobody's going to sit there and say, "Well, Darrell Taylor, you have to have the starting spot because we traded for you." Nobody, right? This is a move that still allows so much flexibility. It allows you so much opportunity to still be flexible as far as who you have opposite Montez Sweat. And I think that this is a good move. This is a good signing. What did RG say? Better than a guy, not a dude. Better than a guy, not a dude, right? But a guy that can get his job done. Better than a guy, but not a dude. That's not a bad take. Um, The Bull says, "Hey, do you think we'll make another move at D tackle? That could be coming." I don't know if you guys heard Matt Eberflus's press conference last night, but I mean, it was not a glowing endorsement of what you have depth wise at defensive tackle. There was a lot of questions around it. I think that most people were kind of I was, at least for me, I was thrown off by Matt Eberflus being that open about what he saw and what he was seeing with the defensive tackle room. He basically was like, "It sucks right now." You know what I'm saying? Like that is the part that I think could be a little bit. I was surprised by it. I was surprised by it to hear that. I'm trying to see if we got anything more because Tom Pelissero was the first to report this. Um, because this is a 2025. Yeah, no, I'm trying to see if there's conditions, if this is conditional. Doesn't look like it. Pelissero saying this is straight up. Okay. Excuse me. Josh Schrock is saying straight up. Okay. This is not conditional. So this is just a straight up 6th round pick, which is even better. Which is even better. This is just a straight up 6th round pick. Wow. Um, Mikel Rather saying great move. I like it. I like it. I think this is a good move. Jimmy Hoffa say y'all doing that, all that, but being neglectful towards O line. I, I mean, I don't want an O lineman that I'm getting for a 6th round pick. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they're being. I'll say this: I don't think that they put the best offensive line together that they could have. But I don't know how offensive line talent is going to play out because last year the Mike McGlincheys and the who else was out there? Orlando Brown Jr., all of those guys, right? Like they didn't work out. They were bad and they made a lot of money. So I just I don't know, man. Like I don't think that you want to just go out there and just get anybody. if you're going to commit big money to him. I think that that's something they're going to address, of course, in the draft next season and things like that. But to me, I think that the play calling plays into that, though. I'm seeing a ton of naked boots. I'm seeing moving pockets. I'm seeing Shane Waldron do some things with the offensive line that he has. Right? Like I'm not as worried about the O-line because I feel like the offensive coordinator understands the O-line he has, and he's not going to do what our last two offensive coordinators did with our last two quarterbacks and basically say, well, the offensive line sucks, but drop straight back and just stand in the pocket and try and figure that thing out. I think that that plays into it as well. Play calling is plays into it as well. So I don't think that this is a apples to apples comparison of, well, you did something for the defense, but you didn't do it for the offense. I think that what you did for the offense was you went out and got a guy that knew how to utilize the offense that he was going to be dealing with, or at least that's your hope for now. What do we got? What do we got? Raging Pirates said, "Is Matt Pryor's burner in the chat?" somebody was praising Matt Pryor. New Harper said Matt Pryor's the pickup of the offseason. Is Matt Pryor's burner in the chat? Matt, we can see you. Over 400 in the chat. 400. I was trying to wait and see if anything else was going to break on this. I'm almost certain the second that I log off, um, there's going to be some news that breaks. But before I go, the one thing I do want to leave you guys with is let's look up now. Please go watch his stats and stuff, or go watch his plays, go watch his tape. Oh, that's the wrong name. I typed in Daniel Taylor. I don't even know who that is. Darrell Taylor. Now, here's the other thing. Is it Darrell or Darrell? Is it Darrell or Darrell? I don't know. So 2023 player grades on PFF. Overall, he's a 50.9. Run defense was a 45.2. Pass rush defense was a 58.7. He had 19 solo tackles, one forced fumble last year. Had 19 stops, had six. They're giving him 6 sacks. PFF always got this weird sack number thing, bro. I don't get it. Total snaps last season looks like he played just under 400 snaps and got 6 sacks, a very Austin Booker kind of player, being able to create opportunity in limited opportunities, or being able to do the most of your opportunity. And he had 27 total pressures, 18 hurries, 3 hits. So there's his PFF numbers. Again, take your PFF numbers with a grain of salt. PFF is one of those things where I'm always like, yes, PFF is a good tool to have, but is it the end all be all? I don't think so, because they always grade these guys as number one guys. And then you watch them and you're like, I don't know about that. Baki said also some positive news. Bears DB Douglas Coleman was released from the hospital. He was carted off last night to the hospital. That's good to hear. I love that. Good to hear that he's good. Good to hear that he's good. Baki, you had another comment in it, didn't you? Hold on. What did Baki say? Hey, I know it's off topic, Pat and chat. Can we take a moment to acknowledge the birthday of one of the GOATs, Kobe Bryant? Kobe Bean, rest in power, bro, boy. Rest in power, Kobe Bean. One of the reasons that I go so hard and attack every day the way I do, sitting there watching him. Honestly, after basketball, it was how he attacked life after basketball that really was inspiring to me. Seahawks fan here. Ad Williams said, Seahawks fan here. We liked him a couple of years ago. He seemed lost the last 2 years. Fan base was split on him. I can see that. And sometimes you just need a new start. I think that the Seahawks defense has gone through some different fluxes. But I think that coming to maybe a little bit more of a stable defense, I think that coming to more of it, and not to say that the Seahawks defense has been bad, but I think that coming to a more stable situation defensively may end up being a benefit to him, and hopefully you can get the most out of him. Like I said, this is a guy playing on $3.1 million. You can take a chance on $3.1 million. And he's a guy that just gets to the backfield, man. gets to the backfield. Um, let's do it, man. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. I'm gonna get up out of here. I appreciate you guys for tuning in and showing love as always. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago. Bear down, one love. We will be live at 4-ish. Wasn't planning on dropping again, but we'll probably break this down a little bit more. This is kind of a clunky, like the news broke, so I wanted to jump on it. But we'll probably break this down a little bit more at 4. Me and the super producer Joel Holt. So y'all tap in for that as well. Y'all stay safe out there, Chicago.